Hi, I'm Lisa Stewart, and I'm going to present the issue of whether or not non-human animals have personality. This topic was of interest to me because I've always grown up with animals around, and I'm pursuing a career as a vet. Before deciding on which side you agree with, it's important to have a little bit of background of what personality is. Psychologists haven't agreed on one certain definition because it's a very broad definition. Our textbook defines it as a person's internally based characteristics on ways of acting and thinking. And personality often is paired with traits that are usually adjectives. Some of the terms involving personality deal with the different levels of consciousness, the id and the ego. In Freud's model, he uses an iceberg, and the very tip is a small portion of the ego and the superego, and that's our conscious mind, what we're aware of. And then there's the pre-conscious mind, where we're aware, but not we can't really access our ego and superego. And then the main part is the id, and that's the broad category for our unconscious mind and our biological drives that lead to our behavior. Another psychologist is Maslow, and he uses the hierarchy of needs, which kind of expands upon Freud's id, and it's just the psychological needs, the safety, the love and belonging, the self-esteem and actualization that may control our personality. For the yes side of the argument, there's been a lot of studies that deal with observing behavior and collecting data, and this isn't just naming the traits. There are a lot of differences between individuals, and they differ in ways that humans also do. And when comparing the personality of animals, it's important to do it within species, not between. Here's an example of within versus between species. If a circus trainer is asked if a particular lion is dangerous, he may say no because the lion has never harmed any human before. But an audience member may say that that lion is dangerous because in comparison to their kitten at home, the lion is relatively dangerous. One of the studies that I researched was dealing with rhesus monkeys. There was lesions to different areas of the brain, and then the personality response was observed. For the amygdala lesions, there was changes in the affiliation and popularity behavior of the monkeys, and then when the hippocampus was harmed, they responded differently to signals and were more excitable. These are similar ways that human harmed in the same areas of the brain would also respond. For the no side, it mainly deals with the principle of anthropomorphism, which is pretty much naming traits but not necessarily describing them or how they happen. And a lot of people will argue that since the brain itself is very different in animals compared to non-human animals, that they probably will have a different personality ability also. One example of anthropomorphism and how we name behavior but not describe it is if a dog destroys a roll of toilet paper and makes a mess in the house, that dog, when yelled at, may put its tail between its legs, and some may call this guilty. But if the same result of the toilet paper being destroyed occurred and there's a mess in the house, even though it may have been a toddler that made the mess, the dog may display the same behavior because the dog could be conditioned to be fearful when there's a meth because it often leads to its owner yelling. So there's not really a science of guilt and remorse. My position, I would like more information before I say for sure. I'm probably going to take the animal cognition course at some point to find out some more. But I'm leaning more towards the yes. I don't believe that all animals have personality because there's a big difference between a monkey or a dog and like a sponge, even though they're both animals. But since personality is so broadly defined, I'm going to say that it's possible for animals to have personality. These are my resources. Thank you.